Well, now, this is the biggest wealth killer. And I want you to listen to me very carefully. It is using the money that you do not have to buy the things that you do not need to impress the people that you don't even like in the first place. Let me just put it down in very simple bit. The biggest wealth killer that I have seen in life. Well, of course, I haven't lived in this world for quite a long time. Anyway, by the way, in a week's time, I'm gonna turn out to be my 33 birthday. But the point is this: there's something that I've seen, and I can tell you for sure, and you can agree with me, that the biggest wealth killer is you use the money. Guess what? The money that don't have, you don't have, to do what? To buy, buy things. Guess what happens? There's nothing wrong with buy things, but guess what happens now here? The things that you don't like, or you don't, not even don't like, by the way, in the first place, the things that you don't need. And what's the reason of all this? Is to impress people. And guess what? The funny thing with these people is that these are the people who you do what? You don't like. You know, can you imagine this? You don't like. Can you imagine this? Borrowing to buy a car to impress your enemy. And of course, if it's your enemy, you hate the enemy anyway. But anyway, the Bible tells me that we should love our enemies and we should pray for them. But let me just use a typical example of what is happening out there. There you are, you're struggling. You cannot even afford that particular thing. Of course, it's like, can you imagine this? Having a cart before the donkey. Okay, for those who come from Africa, understand. See, we have the cart, then I don't know, you place a donkey in front of the cart and then the donkey pulls the cart. But now you're having the cart pulling the donkey. Anyway, that's kind of funny, isn't it? Now, the point is this. Here you are. Probably, let's say you have like 2 million in your bank. 2 million. That is the only money that you have, 2 million. And then you're like, oh my goodness, there is a car worth maybe say 1.6 billion. Of course, based on what you have, based on the numbers that you can see on your bank, it is perceived as if you can manage to afford that particular car. But you see, affordability is not only the potential to purchase that particular thing at that particular moment, but the ability, yes, to not only purchase that particular thing, but having the capacity to maintain it continuously. I've ever seen some, for example, right now as you speak, I have a friend of mine who is selling a car. Anyway, by the way, if you need a if you need a car, a Mazda Demio, you can just contact me. I will connect with the guy. And the car is very fresh, very nice, very good. And actually, it's a Demio 1500. What else? It's a Demio 1500 kind of thing. Okay. Now, the point is, why is he even selling that car in the first place? He bought the car because he thought, like, okay, he had some couple of let's say almost 2 million, because a Demio will cost around 1.2 1.3 around there. And then they bought the car and then he realized, oh my goodness, I don't think I can even afford this car in the first place. Oh my goodness, I've actually broken my bank. I don't have anything in the bank. Because for instance, let's say you go grab that car worth 1.6 billion, you have your 2 million out there. Of course, you're left with 0.4 million. 0.4 million. That's the only thing that you have out there. Of course, well, car, there is life beyond a car, isn't it? See, now here you are, you wanted to buy this car. Again, I want to take this information with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying that nobody should buy a car when you have 2 million in your bank. No, I did not say that. You know, there are people who get the information and then they just post the video, then they comment. No, listen, I did not say that. Because, for example, let's say you do the Uber thing, let's say you do the cab there, whatever. If you buy that car, I mean, after all, that car is an investment. That's a whole of a different case. Now, the point here is see, you used your money, which is 1.6 from your 2 million that you have in your savings, maybe throwing that money into, say, in an investment which is giving you a constant income each and every month. You go buy the car. Why? Because your enemy said that you can never progress. Now, there you are. You buy that car. Not even probably. You really don't need that car. You may want it, but you don't need it. Those are two different terms. So you go grab that particular car to do what? To impress that guy. Of course, you don't like that guy. And then you didn't have that money. But when I say you didn't have that money, I meant with the respect to you cannot afford that particular thing. Because we said affordability is not the only ability to buy that particular thing. As of now, by the way, how many here would agree with me if I tell you, if today, let's say you do not own a home, and I give you a home worth, may say, by the way, I usually watch these celebrities, maybe locally or internationally. Somebody has like a house with 15 bedrooms. Let's say, for example, right now you're given that amount, that you're given that particular house with 15 bedrooms. Are you able to pay even the water bills? Because I understand with those kind of bedrooms, you need like to flush water constantly. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, sure. Even you don't even, when you don't even use your toilet, you're supposed just to flush the water. Yeah, ladies can understand what I'm talking about. You just flush it. Can you imagine just flushing water in 15 bedrooms? And of course, maybe one flush maybe goes with like 5 liters or something or so. Can you just imagine how many liters are those? And of course, the water bill will be like, listen, just because you have that, do you know there's some things that you can be given becomes more of a liability as much as in an asset. You get what I'm saying? So the point is this: the greatest or the biggest wealth killer in people's life, it is actually using that money that you don't have to buy that thing that you don't need to impress those people that you don't even love. And this is what I always ask people. For instance, let's say you break your bank. Maybe you say you borrow, you top up on what you have to buy a car and show up to your friends. And this is what they say: wow, 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 wow. They say, oh my goodness, wow, you bought yourself a very nice car. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You get the thing. After some few minutes, they forget about it. You go back to the reality of paying back your loan. And of course, guess what? Cars are being produced each and every day. The next minute, we have a car with the latest number plate and whatever. Because in Kenya, hey, people compete with the number plate. You buy that today and then tomorrow there is a new one. So the point is this, okay? Most of the people, would you believe if I tell you close to 80 something percent, you find people buy things not to actually meet their needs. And of course, when you tell them that, of course, what they do, they develop that defense mechanism and they tell you, I did not buy because of somebody, I bought it because of me. And then the things that they bought, you find out, how is it even improving your life? There's no improvement. Like, for example, I saw somebody back when I was doing, for those who have been with me for quite a long time, no, I was in the interior design, I was painting and what have you. I met somebody, and that particular individual was was actually a mason. Mason is a mason. Okay, Kenyans fundi wa mawe. Mason, this guy, of course we weren't being given a quite a huge amount of money, maybe 1,000 shilling to 1,300 to 1,500, depends on where you are working. That's like $10, 12, 13, 14 around there per day. Now this guy actually accumulated the amount of money, accumulated to a point whereby he raised, it was around 130,000, 130k. And what he did, once he get this amount of money, he bought himself a motorbike. He bought himself a motorbike, okay? Because of course, most of the people, you know why he bought himself a motorbike? Well, I'm saying this because I asked him later. He told me, you know what, most of the foodies, most of the masons who show up, they usually come with a motorbike and what have you. And when you come out of the job at the evening, you are tired and what have you. So he bought himself a motorbike. Some of you may be like, oh, wow, that's a progress. That's amazing. I like that. But let's look at it monetarily. Let's look at it from the financial eyes, on the lenses. Well, of course, I'm disregarding the fact maybe the guy's ultimate goal was to buy a motorbike. That's a whole of a different case. But even if the guy just bought a motorbike, thinking that he's investing, first of all, how is this motorbike even help you in the first place to earn more money? First thing that you're supposed to ask yourself is this guy is earning around, let's say, an average price of 1,200 per particular day. Of course, if this guy saved for 130,000, obviously the guy, let's say he has a recurrent expenditure of around, say, 800 Kenyan shillings per day. And then the guy is surviving on, or he's saving around, say, 400 per day. Or even say, let's be fair, let's say he's saving 500 particular in each and every day. So if you save this money continuously in a period of 1 year, say you're gonna have yourself like, let's say for the guy to achieve this amount of money, probably he saved for over 2 years, isn't it? So he saved for over 2 years. And of course, the guy, what he has done now is to buy himself a motorbike. And of course, this motorbike is not a bicycle. It's actually something that is consuming fuel and it needs services and maintenance and what have you. Guess what happens now? So the guy now, he buys the motorbikes. He comes to the normal job where he still gets the 1,200 because the motorbike has not helped him to earn any more extra. I'm giving you an example that I had with me. And then what happens is he parks the bike, he parks 130,000 up to the evening. He has the normal 1,200, he gets the 100,000, he passes by the petrol station, the gas station, if you're watching this from the US, and then you fuel the thing with the gasoline or the petrol, again, if you're watching from Kenya, and then you show up back home. Guess what happens now? If you had the ability to save 500 per day, of course you won't. Why? Because back then you didn't need to fuel anything, you need to service anything, but there you are. Of course, I know you will argue from the point of it is making work easier. Yes, of course, at a price. But what if this guy decided to take this amount of money? And that's what we were discussing with him. What if you take this 130,000, start an extra business out there? By the way, would you believe if I tell you, you can even start this 100,000? This guy is a mason, isn't it? This guy knows a lot of foremen. He knows a lot of contractors. He knows a lot of people who actually get those jobs. What if this guy went with this 130,000, talked to a company that supplies cement? and tell them, guess what? I know maybe it costs, let's say 200,000 or maybe 200,000 or maybe let's say 300,000 to actually have an account with you for me to be supplying me the cement, but this is who I am. How can you help me? You know, or maybe if that is not possible, you can go to people who are selling the cement in wholesale, buy yourself some couple of bags of cement, get yourself a somewhere and rent the place and have this cement packed that particular place. Whenever you go to a place, you can actually negotiate with those people who are giving you a job, and you tell them, you know what, I actually sell cement, I do this and this. If you don't mind, you can support me on this and this and that, and I'll be able to, you can be able to talk yourself through. Personally, when I was doing the painting, I used to sell the paints at the same time. So the guy can actually be buying cement and sell to these people or those particular place where he is, because he's already in his business that can consume that particular thing. And this guy usually gets some gigs. Maybe somebody can call you to do some repairs back at home, and then they send you a cement. You can be like, you know what, I do sell cement. And then you'll be like, okay, bring me 3 bags, bring me 2 bags. You're making some cash. Delay the gratification of the ownership of the motorbike to prove to other guys that you're making money. And after some time, you're still gonna have your 130,000, and this 130,000 is like an extra hand that is bringing you some cash as you continue to the next level. Well, of course, I know somebody will be like, hey, it's easier said than done. Of course, did you expect it to be easier done than said? You get what I'm saying? So it is good to make sure that, please don't use that money, are we together, that you don't have to buy the things that you don't need, to impress the people that you don't even love. So what you do, I always tell people, and by the way, I loved reading this book by the Morgan House. It's called The Psychology of Money. He said this, that the greatest check that you can ever hand to yourself is to living a life that you don't have to prove anything to people. If you can manage to do that, I am telling you, the crazy amount of money that you will get at the end of the time, you won't even believe it. So it is good to make sure that at least you understand all those nitty-gritties and you can actually save a lot of money. That is it. That is the greatest wealth killer. What happens is the moment somebody gets the money, I don't know what most of the people, I don't know, they shut or their brain shut or what happens, with all the due respect to them, okay? I'm not being rude. See, now what happens is that later you tend to realize, oh my goodness, I did not make the right decision. And that is exactly how you got yourself into a problem and into a challenge. So because of that kind of decisions. This is what I always tell people. When the moment you get money, why don't you operate as if those people don't even exist in the first place, so that you can be able to make the right decision. And if you've been in a position to make that particular right decision, then you'll be able to get yourself to the next level. And that is it. That is it, my brothers and sisters. Make sure that you go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment on the comment section. And if you'd like to get my services, don't forget my number is always on that particular video, or rather the description of this particular video. For now, so goodbye. See you in the next one.